Hey guys, AscendantGod here with Raid Shadow Legends. Today going to be opening up some Void Shards here. We got the 2x chances, so we got the 16% chance of an epic, 1% chance of a legendary. At this point in the game, more than anything, I really need champions for Platinum Arena. My clan boss numbers are perfectly fine, not worried about that. Faction Wars, yeah, it's nice to inch your way up in that, but since there isn't any particularly huge rewards in that, it's just something that's a pastime. Really, more than anything, as far as the competitive aspect of the game, need something for Arena. My chances, since I only have 47 voids, are not that great. 'Cause in 100 shards, I would have a decent chance at getting a legendary, since it's a 1% chance. So it's basically a 1 in 100 chance overall, if you look at it that way. So odds aren't the greatest. I might end up with a legendary here, but this is going to be one that I need. Who knows? We'll see. I mean, the ones that I mainly need, like I said, I really need something that would be useful in Platinum Arena. Something like Hegemon would be great. Siphi would be great. Krisk would be great. A distant second to those options would be Ceres. Ceres is really nice too. She's more so for the offense, for removing those buffs on the enemies at just the right time. But she's okay on defense as well. But regardless, really more than anything from Void Shards, I need something for Platinum Arena. So we'll see what I get here, and hopefully wish me luck. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to get started on these, and yeah, the thing is, I'm just to that point in this game where it's like when I open shards, a lot of times, like even when I get things that some people would love and be like, wow, I can't believe you got that, it's like, just because this account, I've been playing with it for so long now, and literally the only content in the game that I need to work on to be even more competitive would be Platinum Arena. And I can do Platinum Arena at this point, I just don't have anything that is that spectacular where it makes me get into it with ease. I do have to put a little effort into it. It took me some time with gearing and immunity sets to compensate for not having a powerful, debuff protector. Gonna skim through these real quick since I have 45 more. I'm not going to cover all these champions in depth, but for those of you who are kind of newcomers, I'll touch on some of them a little bit here. This retainer, he's okay. Has this where he can decrease a turn meter, can put a sleep if the champion's turn meter is fully depleted. Heals him by the 40%, puts a counterattack on him. One enemy, decreased defense. He's okay against bosses. I mean, if you're kind of a newcomer in the game for endgame, it's trash. Oh, an epic. An epic, so really the only epic that I can think of that I could really use in the game would be Ceres. So I mean, I hate to say it, even if I get other decent ones, I'm probably not going to use them in the game at this point. But Cardinal here, I think she's actually decent. Yeah, she can revive all dead allies, heals them by 25% of their max hit points, boost their turn meter to max. That's actually a really cool skill. I actually might use her in Sacred Order. I was thinking about using some other champion that revives, and I think they just revive one champion, so she would actually be better. I think I actually might use her in Faction Wars because that's a really cool skill where she can revive everybody, only heals them by 25%, but still boosts their turn meter to max, which means whoever she resurrects, they have a full turn meter. So unless the enemy already had a full turn meter and they're faster than them, they should go before the enemy. This one here heals a target by 30% in the max hit points, 60% increased defense. Kind of frustrating, it's only one target, but this A3 here is so powerful that it's still like, I mean, this is okay. I mean, it's a single target heal, single target increased defense. That's still okay. I mean, it's alright. So, I mean, it can go up to 40% of their max hit points when you increase the skills, and I might actually increase her skills. I might put books into her. She might be worth it for my Faction Wars. She might be able to get me up to the stage 21 in the Faction Wars in Sacred Order. Attacks an enemy, 10% chance placing a poison. That's not that great. I mean, that's okay. I mean, I could load her up with some accuracy because she's never going to do that much damage. I want her as a survivor to be able to revive everybody, so I'm going to be loading her up with tons of hit points and defense. And since this is attack based, she's not going to hit hard with it, but the poisons for bosses would be okay. So, you know, she's got a heal, increased defense, keep somebody alive, poison. This is really, that's powerful. That's a really powerful ability on an epic there. I like that. So yeah, I'll probably use her for Faction Wars. So got something that I'll use, so that's cool. Now, really, the only big thing where I'll be like, oh, wow, is if I get something for Platinum Arena. But like I said, that's the last of the endgame content that I could really use something for. Pretty sure Harvester's garbage. Yeah, it can reduce cooldown of target skills by 2 turns at random. Yeah, that's okay. Block buffs, debuff, that's okay. A weaken. So, yeah, she's okay for, like, should be alright for mid-game. Not something I'm going to use. But, like I said, I'm going to touch on each of the champions that would be halfway decent. Harrier is complete garbage. Not even going to look at him. Another epics. That's cool. Whisper. Whisper is one that you got from the Amazon rewards. If you had the Amazon Prime, you got her. I thought she could be promising as a clan boss champion. I'll show you why. Like, her kit is interesting. She just, the problem is that I have Turvold. Turvold blows her out the water. If it wasn't for me having Turvold, I may have had her on clan boss for a while. Let me show you why. Like, she has this ally attack in dungeons that, who cares? 10% chance of granting an extra turn whenever she lands a critical hit. Increases damage inflicted on bosses by 20%. So that's cool, where it's like on the clan boss, it increases their damage by 20% and a 10% chance of getting an extra turn. So she'd be getting extra turns here and there against the clan boss, which is pretty cool, and extra damage on the clan boss too. Attacks an enemy 2 times, gets an extra turn if the target's under decreased defense and weaken. Since the boss would have decreased defense and weaken the majority of the time on them with my clan boss composition, should be getting an extra turn every single time she gets this. The only problem is, even at max skills, 5-turn cooldown. So she wouldn't get it a whole lot, but it'd be an extra turn every once in a while. Attacks an enemy, 50% increase attack on her before attacking if the target has higher max hit points than her, which of course on the boss it would. It'll ignore defense if the target's under a weaken, which again, the boss would almost definitely have it, especially considering she herself has weakened, so it would completely ignore the boss's defense. It can hit pretty hard. Turvold still hits harder overall with his kit just because he scales so amazingly well. So last but not least here, attacks an enemy, 50% chance of placing a weaken. At max skills, 75% chance. So that's where she has a pretty good chance of putting weaken up on the boss. So like I said, overall, this is a pretty powerful champion for clan boss. I mean, I feel like she should be higher than 4.6 here, but but she's definitely a decent champion for clan boss. Again, the only reason that I didn't put her into my clan boss composition at any point is the fact that I have Turvold. I have been toying with the notion at one point, though, of gearing her up for the clan boss, just giving her a run for the heck of it, but I don't have Turvold in mine anymore, so I just don't really have room for her. But I don't like the fact that with my new composition, weaken is not on the boss very much, but I don't want to get into that. Justiciar is garbage. We're not even going to look at him because kind of far into this and I still have 40 shards open. I'm going to kind of pick up the pace a little bit here because I'm sure you guys don't want to look at this for 5 hours. Arbalester, nothing that great there. I mean, there are quite a few voids that are decent for mid-game. Hollow is not one of them. Hollow is like a really trash, rare void. You'll get him quite a bit. Again, same with Harrier. He's a trash one that you'll seem to get quite a bit. There's certain trash rares that you just tend to get more than others. Those are 2 of them that you see more. Rowan is actually a fairly decent champion. She's Bannerlords. I was using her for a while until a fusion event where I needed a fuse mine that I had, and it was well worth it. I believe it was for Tormund. But anyway, she's got this ally accuracy that she can increase in faction crypts, which is nice, which again ties into the Bannerlords and the factions. Attacks an enemy, chances to place poisons, so she can get some poisons up on bosses, which is really good. Chance to place stuns 3 times at random. That's okay. It's 50% chance at max skills. And heal reduction, damage increases according to speed. She's an interesting champion where she increases both off of attack and speed here, so that's nice. Everything else is just off attack, but her main increases on attack and speed. So I loaded mine up with a bunch of speed as well as some attack, so she attacked frequently. She'd get poisons out there quite a bit, should stun the trash up to the boss. Overall, she's a decent champion. I don't know if I'll use her for my faction wars at this point. I think I already had one of her sitting around that I haven't leveled up. Haruspex is, I don't think that's spectacular. Oh yeah, so he revives a dead ally, fills a turn meter. That's okay. Fills turn meters, increased speed. That's okay, but it's 15%, not 25% poison. He'd be okay for mid-game. Nothing that spectacular, though. But with Rowan, I might use Rowan again. Retainer, but I don't know. I got some other Bannerlords that are pretty decent at this point, so I don't know if I have room for her anymore. Ragemonger, I don't know if he's decent or not, but again, like, I got so many more shards to open. I'm going to try to pick up the pace unless it's somebody that I know is noticeably decent. Stitched Beast, I believe, is decent. He's a relatively new champion they made for a fusion event. Yeah, fully depletes a target's turn meter. That is pretty cool. That can be a nice ability against bosses. Actually, really good against bosses, especially with 4-turn cooldown. And then one enemy 2 times, can put a weaken up on them. That's okay. Enemy 2 times. I don't like, yeah, that's one of the things I don't like about him. There's no skill on his A1, but the fully depleting a target's turn meter, that's pretty decent. Let's see, reviews aren't that great, which means he probably doesn't scale too well. I mean, you always have to take the in-game reviews with a grain of salt anyway, because, like, in-game reviews just aren't always spot on. Fellhound. Fellhound is okay. He has, like, a block damage. He has a continuous heal, reflect damage on your champions, decreased speed. He's okay for mid-game. Not something that I use, but he's all right for mid-game. Decent for Faction Wars. Renegade is one that is really good for unkillable compositions. So say if you want to have like Man-Eaters or Rosh Guards and make your group unkillable, because she can decrease the cooldown of all ally skills by 2 turns. Doesn't affect her or other champions with the skill. So if you have a Renegade, like, it's not going to reduce the cooldown of the Renegade. But the problem with it is she receives damage equal to 30% of her max hit points. Happens even if it kills her. So she can get herself killed, but Painkeeper can do the same thing. The difference is Painkeeper only reduces it for 1 turn. This champion does it for 2 turns. So again, you'll see Renegade, like, the reviews aren't that great because a lot of people don't know how to use her right. But if you have, again, like Rosh Guard groups or Man-Eater where you want to block damage or get unkillables on you, she's a good option to go with that can make unkillable compositions where you literally cannot ever die because, like, you know, if you have the block damage, like, yeah, Hollow again, worthless. But anyway, but like I was saying, she is one of those ones where she's kind of a niche. Like, generally speaking, she's not that great. She's really just specifically for one of those types of unkillable compositions or block damage compositions. Yeah, this guy is nothing that great. Ally protection, but it's 2 random allies. If it was everybody, that'd be a different story. Then it'd be really good, but anyway. So far, not looking too good. Exemplar, I think she's garbage. Yeah, it's only 1 enemy for a freeze. Weakens. Yeah. Extra hit. No. Exemplar's garbage. Like, the only other decent epic that I can think of off the top of my head that's really handy is, like, Skull Crown. But I already have 2 Skull Crowns. I don't even use the both of them anymore as it is, except for Faction Wars. Alright. Extra turn thing. Decrease accuracy. She doesn't seem anything that great. I don't know. Another epic. At least getting a decent amount of epics. He's decent, actually. I don't know if I would use another one of him. Possibly, but he's decent for Faction Wars. I like him for Faction Wars because he has this counterattack, or does it at the start of each round, counterattack on him at the end of a turn. So basically, he's always putting up counterattack on himself constantly. He's like somebody that has a constant self, like, innate counterattack. Attack in dungeons by 32%. That's decent for an epic. 1 enemy 3 times. Shield on him equal to 30% of the damage inflicted for 3 turns. A chance to do a heal reduction. The heal reduction can come in handy against certain bosses or other champions that are just doing a lot of healing. So overall, he can be a really useful champion, especially when the enemy's doing AoE attacks against you. You don't have a counterattack champion in, say, Faction Wars. He comes in real handy where he has his own built-in counterattack. But again, I don't know if I'd use another one of him because I have some other pretty decent champions for Faction Wars, but overall he's decent. Bellower is another one that's actually really decent. I don't know if I'd use another Bellower. I already have 2 Bellowers. He's got this increased speed, which can be handy. And all of his attacks are AoE attacks. So, like, Bellower is one that you'll see people use for speed farming, especially since he's a Void. Like, I use Big Un just because I have amazing gear on Big Un, and I didn't want to put it on Bellower because I also use Big Un for Spider still. But as far as Bellower, he can be better because the thing is that with Big Un, he's a certain affinity where there's one champion in the end game campaign farming that does have a strong affinity against him, so every once in a while he won't get a critical on them, even at 100% crit rate. With Void, you don't have to worry about that issue. So Bellower, if you can gear him enough to where he consistently downs the campaign champions, he can actually guarantee farm a little faster than Big Un. But anyway, because all of his things are AoEs, and so he's got this A3 where he decrease attack, decrease defense. It's not the strongest ones. It's not a 50% and 60, but for an epic, it's pretty powerful that he does both of them, which is handy. Plus, it's damage on top of that. And then decrease speed here. Decrease speed is another one that's handy. It's only 15%, but again, since it's an AoE, that's real handy. This one here is cool too. AoE, chance to block cooldown skills, and it goes up to a 30% chance. So overall, he's a really, really good champion. Amazing champion. As you can see, 4.9 for Spider's Den, 4.9 for campaign, because again, you can build him as a speed farmer where he can literally take out and one-shot every single group, and you can do like 6 to 7 second speed farming on the campaign with him. So overall, he's a really, really good champion. Like I said, I already have 2 of him. I am using 2 of him in Faction Wars. I don't use him as my speed farmer just because, like I said, I have the best of my best gear for AoE attacks on my, skip steadfast, on my Big Un. Oop, all right, we need to make some room here. Definitely not buying anything. Come on, guys, you're killing me. All right, so we need to make some room here. I'm going to go ahead and make some room real quick by throwing some of my food champions in my vault. And this is an ongoing issue in the game of us not having enough space, but that's okay. I should have anticipated this earlier, and I should have made the space. That's my bad. But tying into what all right, so my vault's full. Hopefully I should have enough room for the rest of these. Yeah, got enough room. All right, great. So let's get back into this. So yeah, like I was saying again, Bellower can be a better farmer than Big Un, but like I said, I have Big Un with my best gear on him, and every once in a while with the gear that I have on Bellower, every once in a rare while he won't kill one of the enemies. So Basher here, he's I don't think he's that great. Oh yeah, 4 times random block buffs. That's kind of useful. That can be useful against certain compositions. AoE. Increase the cooldown. Actually, that's pretty useful. AoE, increase the cooldown of all the target's skills by 2 turns. That's actually really useful. Weaken? Why do I not have him in my faction wars? Maybe I didn't have him yet. I really like this block buffs. I mean, that could be useful against certain comps. This here is like, wow, like AoE, increase the cooldown of all the target's skills by 2 turns. You put a decent amount of speed and accuracy on him, he can lock down the enemies. Like, he seems like he should be pretty good. Might actually use him for faction wars. Oh, definitely got to test him out. I'm going to do some research into him. Interceptor, don't think she's that great. I'm going to try to pick up the pace here because I still got 20 Void Shards here. Trying to get through these quick as I can. Renegade, we already talked about Renegade. You know the deal with her. Again, generally speaking, she's not a very good champion because she tends to get herself killed. Ifrit is not anything that great. But Renegade, basically how powerful she is determined by how powerful the allies are that's with her, who she's reducing the cooldown skills for. Marquise, I think Marquise is like okay, but anyway, still got 18 more of these. I want to kind of pick up the pace here. Really hoping I get at least 1 legendary here. Arbalester, garbage. But yeah, see, this is why I get frustrated with the games. It's like, you know, like, I know I got some criticism the other day for people being like, man, you got a couple legendaries, you weren't happy, but it wasn't the legendaries I need. When you get to the end game content and it's like, you see these packs where it's like, you know, today with these like 40 some odd shards, it's like about at least $160, $170 worth of void shards that I'm opening, and I'm probably not going to get anything that I need for the platinum, which sucks. But that's how the game works. It's like hundreds and hundreds of dollars on stuff, and a lot of times you don't get what you need when you're in the end game. So it is easy to get jaded on this game. I'm actually planning on putting together a video pretty soon to help keep people from getting burnt out, because I've gotten burnt out on it a few times, but now I'm just trying to not put as much money into the game, not take it as seriously, and you don't get as frustrated. But when you know very well that each of these shards cost around $4 each on average, and you're opening like 50, 60 shards, it's like, you know, 200 plus, like, it can get easy to get frustrated, and you're like, man, I just wasted 200 some odd dollars worth of in-game items, didn't get anything I need. But it is what it is. That's the consequence of playing the game. You have to accept the fact that it's an expensive game, or you just do free to play and it just takes longer. But anyway, Decrease duration of all buffs on the attacker when hit. That's okay. I don't really know Vanguard here, so I'm not sure. One attack, nothing that great on him. It would just be great if I could get something that I need here. Fellhounds, I forgot that there's a tournament for the opening shards. Ooh. I might use Broadmar. Broadmar is one that you can get from a fusion. I think he's pretty decent. The thing is like for my Lizardmen, I don't have anybody that can resurrect yet, and that can be really powerful for Faction Wars. This guy here can revive 2 random dead allies, 25% hit points, which actually here, would it be up to 55%, I think. Block damage buff on the revived allies for a turn, so that's really nice because he revives them and prevents damage on them for a turn. And then increased crit rate, increased speed buff, that can be decent. Chance to place a freeze. Overall, he's a pretty decent champion. I might end up using him for Faction Wars. I'm not 100% sure. Because like the problem is with my Faction Wars, I have some champions that can hit really hard. The problem is they're all attack-based champions that can get themselves killed easily. Broadmar might be my solution to them getting killed, where I can resurrect them. I just need to figure out who I would place. Lua is a decent champion. That's why there's a lot of reviews on her. You see the reviews are pretty decent here. She's pretty good. She's attack an enemy, fully depletes the turn meter, which is great, especially against bosses. It'll ignore shield and block damage buffs. That's really handy too. Attacks all enemies 3 times. Each crit heals her, so she can do quite a bit of healing. You know, if there's a lot of enemies up at the same time with that. Attacks an enemy, 50% of the inflicted damage to all enemies if it's critical. So you give her 100% crit rate, and then she's like doing basically AoEs there. She's decent. I don't use her myself just because I don't have room for her in my Faction Wars. Nothing else that I'd use her for, but she's a decent champion even for endgame, especially for Faction Wars. Justiciar, we already talked about that. Nothing good there. Chevalier is garbage. Skirmisher, I think, is garbage. Not going to look at her because this video is already taken longer than I was expecting, and kind of the point here where I just want to open these just in hopes that I can get a legendary. Malbranch, I think she's like okay. I'm not sure. Actually, I don't know. Maybe she's not that great. I'm not using her for Faction Wars, so I don't think she can be that good. Confessor is garbage. Another garbage champion, Arbalester. Arbalester's another one of those ones like where that, I don't remember, that Corpse Collector, whatever his name is, like those other 2 Harrier and stuff that you get a lot. Seducer. Seducer is actually an amazing rare. An amazing rare. One of the most powerful rares in the game, in my opinion, other than like maybe Belor and Painkeeper's decent. But yeah, you can see his ratings are really high here. I was using him for a long time for Faction Wars. The problem is you need to use him with Temptress to make him, you know, really powerful. So see, like, because he gets this ability here if Temptress is on the same team, ally protection and a block damage on him. So he does 50% of the damage to your other allies he takes, and then he does a block damage for a turn. So for 1 full turn, he doesn't even take any damage. Really, really powerful ability, especially on a rare. And then he has this increased defense, block debuffs buff on everybody. That's really powerful. He has this AoE where it's at max skills, 100% chance to do a decreased attack on the enemies for 2 turns. It's only 25%, but still for an AoE and 100% chance on a rare, that is amazing. Then this one here at max skills, 45% chance to place a sleep debuff. And he's defense based, which is really nice too. So you load him up with tons of defense. If you have Temptress on the same team, amazing. Even without Temptress, he's decent. So he's a really, really powerful rare. Like I said, I actually have a champion spotlight somewhere in my channel here. So if you want to use him, you're thinking about using him for Faction Wars, look him up because he's really, really good. Eviscerator I don't think is that great. Only got 5 more here. I want to finish this up real quick. Oh, let's see a legendary. Let's see a legendary. Come on, killing me here. Bulwark is another one that's semi-decent. He's fairly decent for clan boss. As you can see here, garbage for everything else, but decent for clan boss. Reason being, he has this chance to extend debuffs. So when the boss hits you, every single time, 30% chance to extend the poisons, weaken, defense down, attack down. He has an HP burn, which is pretty nice, 100% chance at max skills. And this here, a chance to do a weakens. Overall, he's decent. He's decent. Not amazing, but he's decent for clan boss. Another Bellower, which would be great if I didn't have Bellower, but again, I already have quite a few of them. Maybe I'll just go with like a bunch of Bellowers with lifesteal on Oghren faction and see what I could do there. I mean, if I load them up with a modest amount of defense, lifesteal gear, I might be able to run with all of them without a healer and be pretty decent. Another Malbranch. Well, only 2 left. This is not looking good. Nope. Haruspex, last one. Come on, come on, come on. Nope. Nope. Painsmith. No. No luck. No luck. Well, I mean, the odds weren't in my favor again. It's only a 1% chance, so with like the 40 some odd shards I had, it was not that great of a chance to get a legendary anyway. Few champions that, like I said, I might use in Faction Wars. So, let's see here. So, yeah, I might use Broadmaw. Might use Basher. I don't think I'll use this one. Cardinal, I'm actually probably going to use. I'm kind of confused. I thought I already had Cardinal, but I wasn't using her for some reason. I don't know why, but maybe I didn't. So, see, I got a couple more Bellowers. As you can see, though, I already have a couple Bellowers. I have, like, yeah, I got this one. He's only at 50. I still need to max him out. And then I got my other Bellower that is more powerful, I guess, in my vault here somewhere. Yeah, here he is. So, anyway, but yeah, he's great with lifesteal since everything is AoE. He can heal himself quite a bit. But anyway, but that's it for today, guys. Like I said, I got a couple here that I at least will probably use for Faction Wars. I will most likely use him for Faction Wars. Most likely use him. Almost definitely going to use her. I think I was leveling somebody else up. Yeah, and I just maxed her out. Mistress of Hymns. But I think she's better, though. The Cardinal, because yeah, because this one revives 2 random allies, 50% hit points, places a veil on them. That might be okay with the change coming to veil, where it reduces AoE damage. I don't know, but the other one, I think, what did she do? Oh, full turn meter. I'd rather have full turn meters than a veil buff. So I don't know. I think, yeah, it's yeah, I definitely think Cardinal would be a better way to go, because this revives all dead allies. And then this here, where it can heal a target, increase defense on them, and then a poison. I feel like she would be more versatile. I feel like she would be a better choice. I mean, again, I always take the in-game reviews with a grain of salt, but she seems like she could be decent for Faction Wars. This one, I don't know. Kind of frustrated, though, because I just leveled this one up to 60 here. Like, just like last week, but I kind of feel like I should invest into Cardinal. Actually, definitely want to invest into Cardinal. I'm going to invest into her and work on her. But anyway, so yeah, so we'll see. I'll do some champion spotlight probably eventually on those champions. Go over Cardinal, see how she works out. But yeah, no, again, nothing that spectacular. Nothing big for my end game other than a couple of things for Faction Wars. Hopefully better luck next time as far as getting something for Platinum Arena. In the meantime, I will continue to struggle in Platinum Arena. And but that's it for today, guys. So hope you guys are having better luck on your Void Shard pulls. If you get anything good, definitely post in the comments below. Let me know. Again, hope you have better luck than me. And but some of these are decent. I mean, overall, for what I did pull, it was decent. It was decent pulls. It would have been nice to see a legendary, but it is what it is. So that's all that I got for today, though, guys. So again, hope your luck is better than mine here. And that's it for today, and I will catch you guys in the next episode. So until then.